Now, right now, I'm going to bring online. Good morning to Darrel. How are you?
Good morning, Bill. I'm well.
And you're going to be talking today about the seriousness of the fruit fly migration. Has it come south from Queensland, or and you were concerned about it so much that you took a course yesterday?
That's correct. And the fruit fly has arrived in Victoria, and it's most notable in home gardens. And I think a lot of home gardeners don't realise that they're there and how to detect and prove that they're there.
So what's the evidence that's down here?
The evidence is here that you'll see a change in your fruit and vegetables, and they will rot. You'll see rotting of them on the tree, but mainly like capsicums, you'll see they'll fall to the ground once they've been infected. And once they fall to the ground, that's a signal for the maggots to jump out and become pupae in the soil. And
I didn't think they would affect capsicums, so I thought it was a fruit fly.
They affect a very large population of homegrown fruit and veggies, and I'll give you the website for the Agriculture Victoria and Nillumbik Council and YouTube. You can look it up, but it's quite dramatic, the amount of fruit and veggies that it affects.
Right, and as you said, there was evidence in your garden, but a lot of people just think it's end rot on your tomatoes, or it's a bit of rot on your fruit that is caused by the humidity, etc. But it's the fly.
It is the fruit fly. It actually infects the fruit, and that is it's reaching maturity, and then it causes the fruit to drop off the tree, or the vegetables. Mainly capsicums, quite evident of that. You put your hand down amongst the capsicums, and fruit will just fall to the ground, and you'll notice that it's starting to rot. And so that's a sure sign that there's fruit fly there. You can also cut the fruit open, and you can look in there, and you will find they're very, very tiny. You'll find the maggots in there, and little maggots will be squirming around in the rotting sort of vegetable and fruit material.
Very little, what would you call it, impact on the outside until it starts to rot.
You don't see a great deal of evidence until it does drop. You know, some of the citrus fruits will the fruit will stay on the tree a lot longer because it's bigger, and they can move around a lot more in that. But with the citrus, they'll go for the centre of like the apple or the nectarine or plums. But vegetables, they kind of, capsicums, they'll just eat the centre out of it and just leave the skin on the outside, which folds in very quickly and goes brown and doesn't look very attractive.
Yeah, well, when I was talking to you earlier in the week about this, I had a couple of limes fall off my tree, and they looked intact, so I took one inside and cut it up, and luckily enough there wasn't anything in it. It was just been blown off the tree.
I didn't catch the last bit.
I took a lime that had fallen from the tree, so I took it inside just to check it and cut it up into quarters, but there was nothing in there, which was great news for me. Yeah. And how long does it take for this rotting process to take place?
Well, the life cycle of the fruit fly is probably of interest to people, where the adult female will lay eggs in the fruit that it wants the maggots to grow in, and they can do that by drilling through the skin. That's why they go for fruit and that which got soft skin, and or they'll attack other ones as well where there's been some damage in the split in the skin. Once they lay the eggs there, in 2 days' time, the maggots appear, and they lay about half a dozen maggots into each injection into the fruit. And 2 days after that, the larva is very active and the fruit's starting to rot. And 2 days after that, they're quite fully grown, and then 2 days after that they can actually jump, and they will leave the host fruit and go into the soil and become pupae there, where they're in an animated suspension, if you like, while they're growing for some time. They could be there for 10 days for that to happen, and then they become the adult fly. Once she comes out, she has to dry her wings, and that. At that stage, she becomes very active, looking for water and for protein to grow, and then 14 days after that, she should have mated by then and is laying eggs in the next lot of fruit as well. So the young ones are up and active and producing more maggots.
So that got a life cycle from birth to, or from egg laying to coming up and becoming adults of about a month.
Yes, it can be, and they can lay up to 500 eggs
in a day.
In that period of time, that 14 days.
Wow! So it's as you said, it goes from the egg into a maggot, then into the ground, and then starts to come out as an adult. Wow, that is a prolific cycle, isn't it? Yeah,
it takes about 30 days for that to happen, depending on the temperature and the moisture in the soil, how humid the environment is. And I believe that this year we've created a healthy environment for them, because we haven't had much rain, so we're watering madly away all our vegetables and fruit, and some of the plants are covering the ground, so it becomes like a hothouse in there, and it becomes quite humid, and that's ideal for the fruit fly to develop and produce maggots.
You're listening to Valley Lifestyles on your local station, 88.6 Plenty Valley FM.
And you're listening to Bill McGillivray and a gardening session with Darrel. And Darrel, what does the fruit fly look like?
Well, a male looks different to the female. The female's the prettier one, but she does have some distinct yellow markings on her shoulder pad area, like that, and she's slightly longer in the abdomen and has a pointy thing which she drills into the fruit and lays her eggs through that. The male has a rounded abdomen and is kind of boring look.
A bit like us, mate.
That's right.
Now, how big are they? Are they small, or are they like a normal fly, or?
Oh no, they're smaller than that. They're fairly hard to see. They're probably around 8 or 9 millimetres long, but very slender. Wings are transparent, so that they do become hard to see.
And is there any way that we can capture them?
There are traps, bunning cell traps down there that are designed to catch the male ones, and also the female flies as well. And there are some recipes that you can make some traps for yourself. And one of the ingredients is cloudy pneumonia, which stops me from breathing, but the females seem to be attracted to that for some reason. And you put that into a bottle and put a bit of dishwashing liquid in there, and that breaks down the surface area of the water. So when the female goes in, she tries to land on the surface of the water and she drowns.
Right. And so you were mentioning that we're creating the conditions that are ideal for the fruit fly, but the issue is what is the real conditions? Because they've come down from Queensland. It's, excuse me.
Yes, I think it depends on air temperature and that. And I think this year we've seen our temperature drier and warmer down here. So you need an area from 16 to 26 degrees Celsius for them and to create a humid condition. And that can start in spring right through to autumn when the fruit fly is active.
So
it's come down from Well, this is the theory. It's come down from Queensland down into New South Wales and then here. And probably the reason that they've travelled so far is because people are caravanning and taking fruit away with them and then find it's not that good, so they throw it away. And we've been transmitting the eggs and fruit and that over the border by caravanning, I believe.
Oh.
One of them.
Not coming down well, it wouldn't come down in good fruit, would it?
No, well, it will, yeah, it can come down because once it's injected, it takes 2 days to turn into a maggot. So if you pick the fruit, and a lot of the fruit growers are putting in cool storage, so that by the time you hit the shelves down here, a couple of days, they could be starting to break out then, but it could be transmitted.
So the conditions are the warm weather, and because it hasn't been raining a great deal, we've been watering a lot, so that gives that nice environment that they're looking for.
I believe so. That's my personal theory on that, but it seems to, if it needs humid conditions, we've created in our own gardens. Now, there'll be many people throughout Melbourne who won't be aware of this, and they're becoming a breeding ground for the larger fruit-growing producers around the area. One of the things about prevention that might be of interest is you can put traps out, which you get from Bunnings, or you can put netting out over it, and the removal of the infected fruit. Now, what you can do there, the infected fruit you can put into a microwave oven, cook them in there, and they'll pop away like you're making corn.
Put a cover over it.
Yeah, and you can have black plastic bags. Now, probably, because rubbish is picked up every couple of weeks, you probably need 2 sets of these bags, put 2 together, and lay them in the sun. Make sure that the top's closed in. Lay that in the sun so they get cooked, and then you can put that waste into the green bin later on. You can boil them. Boiling's probably a preferred way because it's quickly over and done in the microwave as well. And once that you've got the rubbish from them, the waste, you can dig a deep hole in the garden and bury it in there, and they won't find their way out from that then. So Nillumbik Shire Council is a good contact. They've taken on the program from Agricultural Victoria, and YouTube, I haven't seen it on YouTube, but I believe it's there. But the one for Agricultural Victoria is www.agricultural.vic.gov.au/QFF, and that'll get you into their program.
So if you haven't got
I just recommend all Victorians, and especially the home grower, vegetable grower now, who's started since the pandemic started. They've just started, and they aren't aware of all these problems that we have in the agricultural world, and they're becoming a breeding ground, for these fruit flies. And the fruit flies don't fly very far; they don't travel very far, but we can transmit them by giving fruit and veggies to our mates, saying, "Oh, do you take this home?" And they might be going up to Gilmore or something, and they get up there and find it's not looking too good, a bit rotten. They chuck it in their bin, and it goes down to the tip. The other, they can breed. So the other thing is, don't put this rotting fruit and vegetables in your compost bins. That just creates another environment for them to develop and spread.
I was just looking up on the internet, and it's got a step-by-step guide to get rid of fruit flies, and they're talking about apple cider vinegar and dishwashing soap. So there's another one for you.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of the fruit fly developing in the. It looks like a lemon. So just go up to the website and put in. Fruit fly in Victoria, and you've got a whole range of things to have a look at there. And as Darrel said, go to www.agriculture.gov.au vic.gov.au and /QFF, and that will give you a lot of good information as well. And the disposal is probably the biggest thing, because you just don't want to throw it in the green bin, because it will just give it another breeding ground.
The fruit has fallen. Don't just throw that in the bin, because you just that then goes to compost somewhere, and they just breed up, and the flies develop and come out again, and away they go again.
So what are some of the things that they, your lemons, your apples, your limes, your apricots and things like that?
Yes, until they cover, if you've got a second, I'll quickly run through them. There's apples, capsicum, eggplant, lemons, nectarines, peaches, plums, quinces, strawberries, pomegranates, pears, oranges, limes, figs, chilies, avocados.
Chilies? Chili.
Just about cover everything. Like it's passion fruit, even, which was a surprise, and persimmons and prickly pears, and also tomatoes.
And other fruit? Other veggies?
Well, the citrus fruits and that. So, no, not the brassicas and that. No evidence of them attacking anything like that. It has to be a fruit that they can go into once they sting at the maggot.
Yeah.
And creates bacteria gets in there and starts to rot. And that's what they need. They need that rotting environment of the fruit and veggies to complete their cycle.
Yeah, the protein's what they're after.
That's right.
And have you had some in the area you're in?
Yes, our home garden had it. I had the Maya lemons there, and I thought I'd do them all ripening beautiful. I was really quite excited about that, and I'd go out and then there'd be 2 or 3 on the ground, and then another 2 or 3, and when you look at them, they look like as though they're sunburnt or got a blister, brown blister on them, and that's the fruit fly. If you leave that around for a couple of days sitting around, you'll find it rots and becomes a rotten pulp very quickly, and capsicum quicker again, I think, so it's just devastated my garden.
So what you have to do is, as a home gardener, is check around your fruit and veggies over the next couple of weeks, just to make sure that they're not there. Or if they are...
I think the problem will be that over the pandemic, people started to grow veggies and they don't understand their cycles and that of veggies and that. Now they're getting back to work. They're not out in the gardens as much, so a lot of this can go by the wayside and not be observed.
Beautiful.
So you need to get out and have a look in your garden every day.
All right. Well, we've run out of time, Darrel, so thank you very much. And go to the Nillumbik Council website, go to the Agricultural Victoria website, and also do a little bit of check on the website as well. And you mentioned YouTube. So thank you very much for coming on today and give us a insight into this devastating fly down from Queensland. Thank you, Darrel.
The Eltham Council put up, in conjunction with Agricultural Victoria, and they put up a program of Train the Trainer, which is one of the courses that I've done to gain all this information. So there's probably more opportunities for people to get trained up as well as trainers in this field. And
that's fantastic, mate. And if you talk to the council, they'll probably put them onto you if you want to talk to people about the devastating effects of the fruit fly.
There'll be a list of those that have become trainers that have been trained. There will be a list that the council's going to put out of names and how to contact different people. If there's groups out there that want someone to come and speak and tell them about this fruit fly and all about it, will be available to go out. I guess it's free of charge, but the council's pretty keen on limiting the development of this fruit fly in our shire.
Beautiful. All right, well, thanks, Darrel, and you'll be back in a month's time to talk to us about Darrel's gardening.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes, I will.
Beautiful.
I'll come up with another topic.
Okay. Thanks a lot for your time today, Darrel.
Well, I'm glad Geelong won.
So am I, mate. So am I. I was. I had a. I was in a. What would you call it? There was a dark cloud over us at 3/4 time. I can tell you that now.
It was, wasn't it?
It was. All right, mate. Thank you very much, and I'll enjoy the win. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill.
Just talking there with Darrel, and he'll be a regular with me coming up now on once a month on the Monday, on the Sunday, first Sunday of the month.